Hi everyone, I'm so glad you could join me. I'm going to be making a triple lemon soap. I love lemons, and I know I've made a lemon soap in the past, but I'm going to do it again. This one's going to use almond milk, and for no other reason other than someone asked me to make an almond milk soap. So they didn't specify a specific scent or color, so I'm doing that on my own. I froze it, I have it in an ice bath, and I'm going to melt it as I usually do by adding a little lye at a time, stirring, and adding a little more until it's completely melted. It's a gentle and kind way to treat natural ingredients. It's almost completely melted now, and of course it's retained its natural color. And by the way, I use an unsweetened almond milk. We don't need any additional sugar in this recipe. Alright, so these are my 5 containers for my lye and my 5 containers for my oil. I'll be separating these into each of these containers as you see here. This was my inspiration. I was drinking some lemon and water and I thought, I want to make a lemon soap. And it was that easy. Now, I'll show you one of my previous lemon soaps here just to get an idea of my history. That's it. So it's basically a yellow lemon-scented soap with a slice of lemon on top. It also has some lemon zest throughout the lemon. Now, it's a great soap. I love it. But the lemon is rather subtle. I wanted to really bang down lemon's door. So actually this soap is going to contain 3 different lemon scents, all essential oils, and I'll show those to you now. First is going to be lemon eucalyptus. I wanted to use this in my last soap, as you remember, but that was a fail, or the one before last, so I didn't really get to use it. I also have lemon essential oil there. And the third one is the lemongrass essential oil. I have hidden the manufacturers because, well, I don't want to give advertising or preference to one company. And the only colorant I'll be using is French yellow clay. That's not completely true. At the very end, I need to use a little bit of activated charcoal to darken it. And there I was just showing you the lemon zest that I'll be using in the top layer. Alright, so let's move on. I'm going to mix up the first layer here. So I'm adding the almond milk and lye to the oils. Next I'm going to add in a little bit of the scent, and I'm just going to add in about half a teaspoon of the French yellow clay. I did forget to mention in this first layer I'm adding in just ever so little bit of titanium dioxide to lighten up the first layer. And next comes the fun of pouring it into the mold, which is always my favorite part. So this is pretty basic. I just pour it in, and by the way, I will not use jars again. I was lazy and had not washed out my plastic containers that I normally use. Well, the problem with these jars is the way the neck is made. It's just really tough to scrape them out, so I won't use these again. A flared container is much better. So no more being lazy. Do dishes. Second layer, same as the first. So just adding the lye into the oil. Now this time I'm going to use the same amount, about half a teaspoon, but with no titanium dioxide. So this will be its natural color. A little bit of fragrance oil and the stick. And again, this stayed very nice and fluid. I have a lot of confidence these will be very nice straight layers. And of course it smells lemony, and I love that, I really do. And if you're worried about me getting soap or anything in my glass sitting so close to the mold, you're right. That was silly of me to put it there. Luckily I didn't get any in there somehow. Already mixed it up for this layer. No need you sitting through that again. And just a nice pour, and you can see there's a nice little difference in the color in this layer. That's because I added a full teaspoon of the French yellow clay. Alright, we're back for the fourth layer. In this one, I simply added 2 teaspoons of the French yellow clay. And in each of these layers, I'm adding a little bit of the fragrance as well, of course. And in between layers, I wait 15 minutes. I know some people can do it faster, some longer. This is just what I find works for me. And that's also why I'm only doing 5 stripes. I normally like to do 7, but decided not to this time. It just takes a lot. It's an extra 30 minutes. So I need to tell you all, between the 4th layer and the layer I'm working on here, I broke my foot. I'm not kidding. I tripped over a grate that shouldn't have been where it was. My fault. I forgot it was there, and I walked into it, fell over it, and see the cane. I haven't been to the doctor yet. I still haven't been. I'm going to go tomorrow. This is the same night. I don't have medical insurance, changes at work, long story. So I can't really go to an emergency room. That's too expensive. So tomorrow, luckily I do have an HSA, a health savings plan from my job from before. And there's enough there for me to go to the doctor and get patched up. But I do need to go to a doctor, not to the emergency room. So that's the problem with healthcare, right? And we can all get political about it, or just face the fact that there are countries that have great healthcare, and we have great healthcare. It's just not available to folks that, well, don't have a lot of money. Okay, enough of that. So, I suppose being in pain, I made a foolish decision. This didn't look dark enough to me, so what did I decide to do? Add a little bit of activated charcoal. Yeah, I put in too much. My hands were I was really hurting because I was standing. And the only reason I finished this is because I didn't want to leave the soap unfinished. So I'm standing there in pain with my broke foot, kind of leaning against the table, and measuring out colorants was not a good idea. So what I did here is I suddenly saw this turning this very, very dark green color. That's what happens when you add black and yellow. So what do I decide to do? Add more yellow. I don't know what I was thinking. So I was just trying to get this back to a yellow. It wasn't going to happen. I was stuck with this avocado. Then it hit me. One of the fragrances in here is that lemon eucalyptus essential oil, which is not a lemon, it's a tree. It's a eucalyptus tree that has a lemon scent, much like lemon basil or lemon thyme, that sort of thing. So I thought, I'm going to go with this. But before I decided that, I added more yellow clay. And I did put in some of the lemon zest as well. But yeah, I ended up with that avocado green color. So that is what's going to be the top of this lemon soap. But because of the lemon eucalyptus, I kind of thought, this will kind of work, because what I can do on top, I was going to put little half lemon slices, which I've done in the past. But this time, I was just showing the eucalyptus again, just to show, I'm trying to make an excuse for the green. But what I decided to do is I have eucalyptus leaves from California. Can't grow eucalyptus here in Texas, unfortunately. And I thought I'll just add those, so I'll have eucalyptus and lemon on the top. And the eucalyptus leaves that are from California are dyed with soap-safe dyes. They use a lake green color. And the way I understand it, they cut off the branches and immediately put them in water with this dye in it, and that's how they get this color. So here are the lemon slices, and there are the bay leaves. And I'm just lining them up. Rather tedious. Not so much for me, but for you. So I kind of sped through it a bit. And then I decided I would use some of the lemon zest just to highlight the top. Actually, I'm trying to make it a little more yellow since it's primarily a lemon soap. So here's the top. Now, I don't know when I'll be cutting this. Like I said, I'm going to the doctor tomorrow, so things may be a little delayed. I normally don't separate my cutting recordings. This will be the first time, so I apologize for that. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks so much.